So the month of May is over and I had not anticipated it to be so good. I feel the credit goes to this little piece of technology which I recently bought. It is 7 o'clock in the morning, guys. I couldn't sleep because, like I said in my previous video, that I'm traveling to my friend's native place, which is a small village in the interiors of Maharashtra. And as villages are known to be early, risers, so people are up early here. And I think even before people, the hens and the roosters in the village are up early, and they don't let you sleep. They just won't let you sleep. So I thought, if I'm up already, let me use the time and do something productive out of it. So I just picked up my tripod and the mic and my tablet, and I'm out here in the open and I'm shooting in the open. And as you can see behind me, it's a beautiful place. It's actually a long walk close to the end of the village, so I kind of did that just now. And I found this spot which I kind of really liked, with the flowers this side and the road that leads into the village the other side. So I loved this spot. So as you can see, I'm actually shooting right in the middle of the road right now. So the month of May is over and I had not anticipated it to be so good. I feel the credit goes to this little piece of technology which I recently bought. What a wonder this piece is. The number of books that I could read, my reading has gone up by notches because I can just constantly read on this, and my eyes are not tired at all, which usually is the case on the phone. I don't have a Kindle and I was never a Kindle person. I am somebody who loves physical copies and I love to hold the book in my hands, even hug it, sniff it. And that's the reason I've kind of always been away from Kindle and all these technologies which help you read books on a screen. But I bought this for work purposes and I started reading and there was no stopping. So in this video, we are going to look at all the books that I read in the month of May. And this is not a review video. I'm just quickly going to talk about what the book's about and what I liked about the book. And that's about it. I'll be doing proper reviews soon of the books that I feel like I should be reviewing. For which you will have to come back to my channel. So the first book that we have on the list is The Chronicle of a Corpse Bearer by Cyrus Mistry. I'm sure you guys have heard about Rohinton Mistry, and he's an Indian author. He's written some fantastic books such as The Fine Balance, Family Matters. I have read those books and I am a big time fan of Rohinton Mistry. I did not know he's got a brother who's also a writer, and I thought of exploring this book because it had a very delicate, a very sensitive matter at the heart of it, which was the plight and perils of the corpse bearers of the Parsi community. This is the story of Firoz, who is, the son of a high priest, at the Agyari, which is, the Parsi place of worship. And obviously, this family is, revered and, they are looked up to. They are the high priests. And things change very quickly for Feroz when Feroz falls in love with a Khandia's daughter. A Khandia in the Parsi community is somebody who is a corpse bearer. So he is disowned by his family. He's asked to leave his house by his father, who's of course so disappointed in him. And Firoz also has an elder brother in the story, Wispy, and it's about his relationship with his family. It's about his relationship with his co-workers, how the life of a Khandia is like, and that actually is at the heart of this novel. In the backdrop is a partition period of India. So this story begins somewhere in the 1930s. So it covers a few details of the World War II. It covers in the partition of India. It covers Gandhi. It covers Nehru, and it spans up to the 1970s. So that's good 50-60 years of of the life of Feroz Elchi Dana that we go through, and everything that he has faced, which actually is the voice of this particular community, that are corpse bearers. I am pretty sure that I'm going to do a detailed review on this book because this book totally deserves it. But if you ask me why I love this book so much, I'd probably like to quickly tell you two things: the characters, the plot, and well, a third thing, the setting. which is the backdrop of Bombay during India's partition and India's partition on the whole. So it's a historical fiction in a way, and that's one of my favorite genres, and that's the reason I loved this book so much. I guess we all know about Dr. Rahat Indori. He was a very famous, lyricist. He was also the songwriter for the Bollywood film Maqbool, starring, the late Irfan Khan and Tabu. And this poet is known for his shairi, he's known for his rhyme scheme, he's known for the way he expresses things happening around him, inside him, with the choicest of words, and all of that is again at display in this book as well. Another good part about this book is it's only about 125 odd pages, and right now it's available for free on Kindle Unlimited. If you want, please grab the book. In this book as well, the poems majorly have the themes of love, loss, heartbreak, disappointments, social issues, and he's voiced them pretty well. 8 Rules of Love by Jay Shetty was the next book that I read, and I've already reviewed it on the channel, so you can go and watch the video. This book is a self-help book. It talks about relationships, it talks about love, and how you're supposed to value the other person in a relationship, and so on and so forth. The detailed review is available on my channel, like I said. This book again, I read in May, and it was a review copy from the publisher. What I felt about the book is right in my video. And then I read a short story which totally blew me. The title is I Remember Abu, and it's translated from Bangla into English by Arunav Sinha. The original book is written in Bangla by Humayun Azad. This story is narrated from a young girl's perspective about her life. It's about her parents, and it's about what it was like during the time when there was the war for the formation of Bangladesh, for the independence of Bangladesh from Pakistan, and the kind of atrocities that people went through, and what all this family had to face, and what eventually happens when one fine day her father goes to the war and he never comes back. So she talks about all of these experiences. She talks about little cute, sweet childhood moments and memories with her father, and eventually the tone, the language of the book progresses. It becomes dark. The next book I want to talk about is Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur, and who hasn't heard about this book, right? I feel there'll hardly be anybody who has not read this book. Was I the last one to read this book? Well, I was kind of going through major FOMO, and I thought, okay, I've got to read this book. Well, I was quite disappointed because I didn't quite feel how the others have felt. More details in my review, which is available on my blog. Let me just quickly establish that this book is centered around themes such as sexual abuse, loss, heartbreak, forced relationships, feminism, etc., etc. So these are of course intense themes. Although I didn't quite like this book much, but there were certain poems that kind of stayed with me. So that's about this book, which is Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. And the last book I want to talk about is one book that is from a totally new author. I am so glad that I decided to read this author's book, and I loved it so much. It was absolutely unputdownable, and I am pretty sure of this. I mean, this is one of the best books that I read in May and probably the year so far. This belongs to the historical fiction genre again. It's a thriller, it's mystery, it's gothic. It's got all the elements of a book that I usually love. What's more, it has got great settings, it's got amazing character building, the plot is mind-blowing. Well, there's not one thing that I didn't love about this book. This book that I'm talking about is The Room in the Attic by Lewis Douglas. I am going to do a review on my channel for this book as well. Be on the lookout. Please do subscribe and hit on the bell icon so that you don't miss it out. Let me quickly tell you what this book is about. The Room in the Attic has two parallel time periods going on. One is the year 1903 and another is the year 1993. In 1903, a young girl about 5 years old is found with a young woman, her mother, in a boat. She is abandoned, like both of them are abandoned, and they are in a very helpless state. They are found by a nurse called Emma Everdeen, and they're taken to this asylum called as All Hallows, which apparently happens to be a place where women are treated. It's probably also a semi-hospital kind of a place. In 1993, however, we are going through the life and story of Louis Tyler, who has been abandoned by his family and forced to go to a boarding school by his father and stepmother. What happens is both these stories run parallelly. The chapters are divided such that each chapter is alternating between 1903 and 1993. And what's the big mystery? So it's about this girl who's found on the ship and her mother, and where do they come from, how did they land up on the ship, and what ultimately is going to happen to the both of them, and how is nurse Everdeen, Emma Everdeen, trying to save the little girl from an impending danger. What is the fate of the nurse herself eventually? So all of that has been pretty beautifully captured in the story. No matter how much I talk about this book, it's not going to be enough because I was so blown. It's given me sleepless nights, well, in a good way. And it's after a really long time that a book could actually keep me up, and I couldn't focus on anything else but just finishing this book and knowing what the fate of Harriet, the little girl, I forgot to tell you that the little girl's name is Harriet, and what happens to her, what happens to nurse Everdeen, and what's going to happen to Tyler and all of these characters, and the setting which is so gothic and everything. And I just wanted to reach the end of it. This is one book that I totally want you to read, because I know that you're going to absolutely love it. So that's all the books that I read in May, and I wanted to talk about these books. That's all for today's video, guys. I'm going to see you in my next video. Until then, be reading, be inspiring. Goodbye.